Alright guys, so Chris again here. I'm gonna try and continue on with green glass pipe. That's the working name I have for it right now anyway. So yeah, let's keep going. Last time I got kind of a first verse down and I guess part of the chorus. So let's read what we got so far. I just finished work too, so I'm a little bit wired. This might not go well, but we'll give it a go anyway. Waiting in line for the show, a crowd's breath rising up through the snow, alone with no other guy, this woman getting high. I asked for a hit. She said, sure, I'm trying to quit, and gave me her glassy green pipe. I asked for a hit. If I don't put that break in there, it sounds like a limerick, and then the last line doesn't really work that well. I asked for a hit. She said, sure, I'm trying to quit. She gave me her glassy green pipe. You could say that she was my type. If we are following the story, then we're just trying to kind of show that this woman's got the mind of the devil, but the heart of God. And so we're trying to slowly reveal that by showing what happens in between my character and this other woman. So we're kind of like starting to get into, she smokes weed, she's trying to quit, whatever, no big deal. But what ends up happening between my character and her character? Well, they have to go into the show. Like, what does the show mean to them? Maybe they go into the show and then she just goes fucking crazy. So whatever happens next in this part anyway, is they talk until they get into the show. So that's gonna kind of be the next stanza. Okay, well, what I have in my head right now is like the time passing as the bud turned to ash. Yeah, like I was so confused on like the line length in this lyric, but whatever, we're just gonna kind of do whatever rhymes and like kind of forget about the meter. So we have something 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 as the bud turned to ash, so we're gonna try and say like we talked and we hit it off, and I really liked her personality in one line that ends with ash. So we'll head over to Easy Pockets Poet. Ash, gash, bash, crash. Like trash. Like she spoke like trash. Never been to mass. And like, it's good to, I guess, have that church imagery in this one, because we're talking about how she has mind of the devil but the heart of God. So if we keep that church symbolism, so mass might be a good one. We got so far mass and trash. Pass. Time passed. I could do she spoke like trash, like she'd never been to mass. Use both of them and kind of have a inline rhyme. Trash, never been to mass. I'm just trying to like make sure at least it fits with the other ones. So waiting in line for the snow. It's kind of a, can't remember the actual word, but like hard, soft. Waiting in line for the snow, or for the show. Waiting in line for the show. She spoke like trash, like she's never been to mass. It's 4, but like I said, this poem is kind of, the meter is going to trash. So we'll just give it a go. As we burnt the bud down, burnt the bud, like continuing to show her personality. Mind of devil but heart of God. So she like does bad things for the good reasons. So maybe we could tell a story about that. Or like she's telling him a story about that. Like she spoke like trash, like she's never been to mass. Like, and how she's never told a lie. So something that rhymes with rhymes with lie. I'm wanting to either do like, she told me this story of her brother and da-da-da, or like she told me how she's a Robin Hood of sorts or something, and how she's never told a lie. Or else something more like abstract, like not really a specific detail, like she told me stories of da 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 da, and how she's never told a lie, and claims. And let's just see what rhymes with lie, and then we'll get some idea of what we can say in that line. And yeah, again, we're just trying to say like, either like ideally like show an example of how she has a heart of gold, while still like kind of claiming she doesn't lie, even though it's kind of the thing she obviously does. Will hopefully like show her telling a lie to my character. Just realized I'm really hungry. I should eat something. I say twinkle in her eye, but that's so cliche. Lie, rye, lie by, my high. She's never let her socks machine dry. I don't know. Something weird and specific. She'd let Hitler die. Her father die. Her mother die. I like mother die. Father die, and like daddy issues is too cliche once again. She spoke like trash, like she's never been to mass, as we burnt the bud down to ash. If given the chance, she'd let her mother die. Claim she's never told a lie. Alright, at this point I feel like we're getting close enough to the chorus of the song of like, she's got the mind of the devil but the heart of God. We can write the chorus maybe. Something I feel is really effective is just kind of repeating the same thing in different ways. Especially for choruses. Maybe not necessarily for choruses, but I think it could be useful here. Yeah, let's give it a go. So she's got the mind of the devil but the heart of God. Maybe I'd like to have a little bit more consistency in the chorus, meterically, just because the verses are all over the place. So I'll try and rhyme the first and second lines. It's like A, B, A, B. So we're going to try and rhyme with devil, if we can anyway. Devil, hopefully it has a level and vessel. Special, vessel. Okay, so I like the idea of like level, like level-headed. Or was the other one special? Special is not a very specific word, but it's special. It's a really kind of like sacred word psychologically, if that makes sense. Like your mother always wants you to feel special, and to really describing person in terms of the devil and God, showing that they're special could be pretty good. So she's got the mind of the devil but the heart of God. Something special. She's really not that special. I can change that later. I'm not crazy about it. Kind of see depending on the second line. But then the heart of God. She's really not that special. She's certainly odd. You can't say she's special, but you can say she's odd. How like special and odd are sort of the same thing, except special really, the connotations of special are like good, like positive. You are unique in a good way. Odd is like unique in a bad way. So I like that symmetry and opposite, and just that it rhymes with kind of the main thing that we got. I think that's going to be a pretty good lyric. She's really not that special. You can't say she's special. You can say she's odd. So yeah, this is really kind of turning into a character study, sort of. Can't really say she's special. You can say she's odd. She's got the mind of the devil, but the heart of God. I like that as like describing someone. She's not the type of friend. She wouldn't really decorate. Thinking like she wouldn't decorate her house for Halloween. I'm really setting myself for a scary rhyme though with decorations. You wouldn't find her. She wouldn't decorate for Christmas. I like that, because that idea that I was gonna have, like, you wouldn't find her putting up decorations for the holidays, or whatever I was gonna do, fits into one line, which is nice. I don't want a single idea spread out between two lines in the chorus here. I haven't really done that yet. I have like she's got the mind of the devil but the heart of God. Like, that is one idea, but the mind of the devil is one idea and the heart of God is one idea, and like putting them beside each other is kind of, they complement each other more than anything. That's like the effect. You get the effect of contrasting the devil and God and comparing it to this person. So she wouldn't decorate for Christmas, but she would for Halloween. But she's always not crazy about that, just because, like, I'm using the metaphor for Halloween, but I'm using something completely different for, like, she wouldn't decorate for Christmas. I'm, like, showing you what she might do, and then contrasting that to a metaphor of, like, she's always Halloween. Yeah, I'm not crazy about it, but we'll take it for now. We'll see what goes. I can always say, like, but she would for Halloween, which isn't as strong, but it still fits. It's not like, oh my god, she's crazy, she decorates for Halloween but not Christmas, oh my god. But we can always add more lines, we can always take lines away. She wouldn't decorate for Christmas, but she's always Halloween. And so we're doing the ABAB rhyme. So Christmas, oh man. Not a lot, but they're good words, I feel. Business, you know, she's the business. Stiffness in her personality. She's not quick to forgiveness. Forgiveness is a little too abstract. I'd rather show that in the story of the verses or something. I think stiffness is the most, like, evocative, I feel, out of business and forgiveness. It's the opposite of stiffness. I want to do a single line comparison to, like, she replies to your opposite of stiffness. Easygoing, chill. But, like, actual material is stiff. She wouldn't decorate for Christmas, but she's always Halloween. Why can't I think of the stiff when it's stiff? Rigid. Opposite of rigid is cool, easygoing. Or maybe I should just give up on the like the stiffness of a object. Maybe I should just go to like personality. Your stiff personality, your warm welcome. Empathy. She responds to empathy with stiffness. And we need a nice low line. Or I guess I like, she's got the mind of the devil, but the heart of God, being the last line of the chorus. So this stanza I'm working on right now will probably go above this one right here. But yeah, we'll just get one last line to kind of finish the stanza off. So Halloween will hopefully be a nice one to rhyme with. It's got that really stressed last syllable. Seen, mean. I didn't even think of this, but Christmas is kind of has the relatedness to God again. And Halloween, obviously, the devil. She responds to empathy with stiffness. Kindness. Oh, that word is really interchangeable. I'll kind of think about what I want there. But you know she's never mean. There's going to be a million rhymes. I like that, though. Like, that's a really unique idea of, like, kindness with like, other people that you meet in your life can be stiff, and they can be, like, a little bit, like, whatever, maybe they're having a bad day, and, like, you can take it as, like, oh, she's mean, or he's mean, or whatever. But a lot of times they're just not being mean. Maybe it's my own issue I go through when I'm talking with, like, other people in my life, like, oh, they didn't want to say hi, but they're not actually being mean. It's a unique idea to really to express in two lines, especially if it rhymes really well with Christmas and Halloween, which I really like. The Christmas, Halloween, God and, or devil and God. Never mean. Cool. Yeah, one thing I'm having an issue with is I feel like I'm writing I'm writing lyrics like classic songwriters. Like, I'm telling a story of, like, working class whatever, which is okay. It's not really what I'm after, though. What really inspired me lyrically and poetically was Leonard Cohen. I loved and continue to love his songs and how he says things and all the historical imagery that he uses and religious imagery that he uses, and how the stories are timeless. They're not like smoking weed and like talking about Christmas and Halloween. They're like eternal facets of life or eternal facets of religion, which are deeply ingrained in Western culture or whatever. That's what I'm really wanting to head towards. I don't know, even if I just like completely copy his imagery for a while, I really, really like his style. And I want to get somewhere close to that eventually. And like this lyric so far, I really don't feel is like that. But gotta start somewhere, and eventually you'll hopefully cross that threshold of writing something that you actually like. And I'm waiting for that. And so yeah, let's just read what we got so far. So waiting in the line for the show, a crowd's breath rising up through the snow, alone with no other guy, this woman getting high. I asked her for a hit. She said, sure, I'm trying to quit. She gave me her glassy green pipe. You could say that she was my type. She spoke like trash, like she's never been to mass. As we burnt the bud down to ash, if given the chance, she'd let her mother die, and claims she's never told a lie. Oh yeah, I'm gonna flip these ones. And then into the chorus. She wouldn't decorate for Christmas, but she's always Halloween. She responds to kindness with stiffness, but you know she's never mean. You can't say she's special, but you can say she's odd. She's got the mind of the devil, but the heart of God. Yeah, like I said, it sounds a lot like a country song to me or something like that, but it all depends on how it's sung, I suppose. One thing I want to change, I think if she coughs up there, I asked her for a hit, she coughed, sure, I'm trying to quit. You can really see her be like, sure, I'm trying to quit. Which is a little bit more evocative. Yeah, I think that's it for now. Let me know if there's anything I should change, or just contact me. I'd love to talk to other lyric writers and maybe share a little bit of our work. Yeah. Okay, bye.